Lawrence Moten. Lawrence Moten enters the 1995 NBA Draft as Syracuse's all-time leading scorer, with 2,234 career points over 4 years. At 6'5", he averages 19.3 points per game across his collegiate career and leaves the Big East as a two-time first-team selection. Vancouver selects him 36th overall in their inaugural draft, hoping for scoring depth behind their expansion roster. But the fit unravels quickly. Moten appears in just 12 preseason games and is waived before logging a single minute of regular season action in Canada. Washington briefly signs him to a 10-day contract in 1996, where he plays 3 games, scoring a total of 9 points. Unable to secure another NBA contract, he spends the next several years in the Continental Basketball Association and overseas leagues, posting modest numbers, averaging just 6.3 points per game in his short NBA tenure. Moten becomes one of the few top scorers in college history to never register a full season in the NBA. His college peak never translates beyond the tryout phase. The following draft class features a different kind of risk, one whose medical file carries far more weight than his scoring resume. Greg Oden. Portland selects Greg Oden first overall in the 2007 NBA Draft, ahead of Kevin Durant, based on his dominant freshman season at Ohio State, 15.7 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 3.3 blocks per game. Standing 7 feet tall and weighing 250 pounds, Oden projects as a franchise center in the mold of Tim Duncan, but by September, the team announces microfracture surgery on his right knee, sidelining him for the entire 2007-08 season. The Blazers plan to ease him in gradually, but injuries persist. Between 2008 and 2014, Oden appears in just 82 games across 7 NBA seasons, averaging 8.0 points and 6.2 rebounds in limited minutes. He never plays more than 21 games in a single year, and after multiple procedures on both knees, he is waived by Portland in 2012. Miami signs him briefly in 2014, but he lasts just 23 games and retires soon after. He never logs a single playoff point. Portland, already burned by injuries to former All-Star Brandon Roy, faces back-to-back setbacks that stall their rebuild. The franchise's next gamble in the lottery comes nearly a decade earlier, with a similarly haunting result. Michael Olowokandi. In 1998, the Los Angeles Clippers select 7-foot center Michael Olowokandi first overall out of Pacific University, where he averages 22.2 points and 11.2 rebounds as a senior. Despite concerns about his late introduction to basketball, he begins playing at age 18. The Clippers gamble on size and potential over polish. That same draft class includes Dirk Nowitzki, Paul Pierce, and Vince Carter, each of whom eventually becomes a multiple-time All-Star. Olowokandi, meanwhile, struggles from the outset, averaging just 8.9 points and 7.9 rebounds in his rookie season on 43% shooting. Over a 9-year career spanning 500 games, Olowokandi averages 9.5 points and 7.2 rebounds, never recording a single season above 12.3 points per game. His footwork and hands prove underdeveloped for the NBA pace, and injuries limit his availability. He plays fewer than 36 games in 5 separate seasons. Off-court, the Clippers receive a $50,000 fine for hosting an illegal pre-draft workout, compounding an already questioned selection process. Teammates dub him the Candy Man, but the nickname quickly turns ironic. The league's scouting failure is glaring in hindsight, but the next entry offers no redemption. Instead, it becomes a cautionary tale that reshapes league drug policy. Len Bias. The Boston Celtics draft Len Bias second overall in 1986, targeting him as the long-term successor to Larry Bird. At Maryland, Bias averages 23.2 points per game in his senior season, shoots 54% from the field, and earns back-to-back ACC Player of the Year honors, standing 6'8" with elite vertical explosiveness. He leads the Terrapins to the NCAA tournament in 3 consecutive years. Celtics president Red Auerbach views Bias as the final piece in Boston's future core. especially with aging starters and declining bench depth. Just 2 days after the draft, Bias collapses in his Maryland dorm room and is pronounced dead from a cardiac arrhythmia induced by cocaine intoxication. He never signs his rookie contract, never appears in training camp, and never plays a single NBA game. The Celtics, already the reigning champions, lose not only a franchise talent, but their ability to sustain a post-Bird-era title run. Boston finishes 42-40 just 5 years later, and their dominance never fully recovers. His death prompts congressional hearings and fast-tracks the NBA's anti-drug policy reforms. That same policy now governs rookies like the next name on this list, Anthony Bennett. In the 2013 NBA draft, Cleveland selects Anthony Bennett first overall, a surprise to analysts, executives, and even Bennett himself. At UNLV, the 6'8", 240-pound forward averages 16.1 points and 8.1 rebounds per game, but enters the draft with concerns about conditioning and a recent shoulder surgery. The Cavaliers pass on Victor Oladipo, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Rudy Gobert in favor of a player with no defined NBA position. Bennett scores just 2 points total over his first 4 games and ends his rookie season averaging 4.4 points and 3.1 rebounds in 52 appearances. By 2015, Bennett is traded 3 times in 2 years, first to Minnesota as part of the Kevin Love deal, then waived outright by the Timberwolves, and later picked up briefly by Toronto and Brooklyn. He never averages more than 5.2 points in a single season and falls out of the league entirely after just 4 years. Front office executives and scouts routinely refer to him as the worst #1 pick in modern draft history. His career, PER 7.0, ranks lowest among all top picks since 1970. Jay Williams. In 2002, the Chicago Bulls select Jay Williams with the 2nd overall pick, after he leads Duke to an NCAA championship and averages 21.3 points and 5.3 assists as a junior. At 6'2", Williams enters the league with elite quickness, court vision, and a 35.7% three-point clip as a rookie. He starts 54 games for Chicago and averages 14.0 points, 6.1 assists, and 1.1 steals, helping the team improve from 21 to 30 wins. Though turnover-prone, his upward trajectory places him at the center of the Bulls' long-term backcourt plans. That trajectory collapses on June 19, 2003, when Williams crashes his Yamaha R6 motorcycle into a streetlight on Chicago's north side. He shatters his pelvis, tears multiple knee ligaments, and suffers nerve damage that ends his career before a second season. The Bulls fine him $3 million for violating a standard clause that prohibits players from operating motorcycles or engaging in dangerous activity. His contract is voided, and his jersey is never reissued. Sam Bowie. In 1984, the Portland Trail Blazers select 7'1" center Sam Bowie with the 2nd overall pick, passing on Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, and John Stockton. The decision is driven by roster logic. Portland already has Clyde Drexler and needs size next to Jim Paxson. Bowie, a former McDonald's All-American, averages 13.4 points and 8.8 rebounds in his final season at Kentucky, but his college career is interrupted by 2 major leg injuries that sideline him for 64 games. Despite medical red flags, the Blazers take the risk. In his rookie year, Bowie posts 10 points and 8.6 rebounds per game and earns NBA All-Rookie honors. But the injuries return. He fractures his left tibia in 1985, then refractures it in 1986, and later suffers a right tibia fracture in 1987. He misses 2 full seasons during his 5-year Portland tenure and appears in just 139 games for the team. Across a 10-year NBA career split between Portland, New Jersey, and L.A., Bowie plays in 5 of 11 total games, averaging 10.9 points and 7.5 rebounds. He retires with more surgeries than playoff starts. Sean Livingston, early years. In 2004, the Los Angeles Clippers draft 6.7, Point guard Shaun Livingston 4th overall, bypassing college talent to bet on his elite vision and size for the position. At Peoria Central High School, Livingston averages 18.5 points and 6.3 assists his senior year, earning McDonald's All-American honors and co-MVP of the EA Sports Roundball Classic. His rookie season is uneven. He averages just 7.4 points and 5.0 assists in 30 games, but by year 3, he begins to find rhythm, improving his field goal percentage to 46.3%. At age 21, he becomes the Clippers' full-time starter and centerpiece of their future backcourt. That future vanishes on February 26, 2007. On a transition layup, Livingston lands awkwardly and dislocates his kneecap while tearing his ACL, PCL, MCL, and meniscus. Doctors consider amputation. He misses the entire 2007-08 and 2008-09 seasons, playing just 12 total NBA games between 2007 and 2010. His rehab lasts over a year and requires multiple surgeries and extensive physical therapy to regain basic mobility. He doesn't return to a consistent NBA rotation until 2013, nearly a decade after being drafted. Danny Ferry. In 1989, the Los Angeles Clippers select Duke forward Danny Ferry with the 2nd overall pick after a decorated college career that includes 2,155 points, a 58-7 home record, and ACC Player of the Year honors at 6'10". Ferry projects as a versatile front-court scorer and distributor with elite basketball IQ. But within weeks of the draft, Ferry informs the Clippers he won't sign, citing concerns with ownership and franchise direction. Instead, he signs with Il Messaggero Roma in Italy, averaging 23 points per game in the Italian league while the Clippers scramble for a trade. That trade comes in November 1989, when Los Angeles sends Ferry's draft rights and Reggie Williams to Cleveland in exchange for Ron Harper and 2 future first-round picks. Ferry eventually joins the Cavaliers in 1990, but never fulfills his projected star role, averaging just 7.0 points and 2.8 rebounds over a 13-year NBA career. He starts only 44 games over his first 6 seasons. And although he carves out a role as a floor-spacing forward, his production falls well short of typical number 2 pick expectations. Robert Swift. In 2004, the Seattle Supersonics select Robert Swift with the 12th overall pick straight out of high school, making him the final first-round prep-to-pro selection before the league raises the minimum draft age. At 7'1" and 260 pounds, Swift shows early promise with above-average rim protection and soft touch in limited minutes. After spending his rookie season developing off the bench, he earns a starting role in year 2 and averages 6.4 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks over 47 games. But in training camp the following season, Swift tears his right ACL, an injury that triggers a steep decline. Over the next 3 years, Swift suffers additional injuries to his knee and lower leg, including meniscus damage and bone bruises, limiting him to just 34 total appearances. His final NBA game comes in 2009 at age 23, with career averages of 4.3 points and 3.9 rebounds across 97 games. Without a contract or reliable support network, Swift's post-NBA life spirals. In 2014, police arrest him after an armed standoff in Washington state, discovering a home filled with weapons, ammunition, bullet holes in the walls, and even live snakes in glass tanks. He becomes a tragic symbol of squandered potential and absent structure. Adam Morrison. In 2006, the Charlotte Bobcats select Adam Morrison with the 3rd overall pick after he leads the NCAA in scoring at 28.1 points per game during his junior year at Gonzaga, standing 6'8" with a high-release jumper and competitive edge. Morrison enters the league with expectations of becoming a franchise wing. In his rookie season, he averages 11.8 points over 78 games, but shoots just 37.6% from the field, raising concerns about his athletic ceiling and defensive liabilities. The following preseason, He suffers a torn ACL in his left knee, forcing him to miss the entire 2007 Euro 8 season. After struggling to regain form, Morrison is traded to the Lakers in 2009 and appears in just 39 more games over 2 seasons, averaging 2.2 points during his time in Los Angeles. Despite earning 2 championship rings in 2009 and 2010, he plays a total of just 67 minutes in those postseason runs. He retires from the NBA at age 26 with career averages of 7.5 points and 2.1 rebounds. To most fans, he's remembered less for his draft status than for crying during Gonzaga's upset loss to UCLA. Hasheem Thabeet. The Memphis Grizzlies take 7-3. Hasheem Thabeet with the 2nd overall pick in the 2009 draft, banking on his elite shot blocking after he averages 4.2 blocks per game as a junior at UConn. He becomes the tallest active player in the league, but struggles immediately with timing, footwork, and foul trouble. In his first 68 games, Thabeet averages just 2.3 points and 2.7 rebounds in 10 minutes per night, prompting the Grizzlies to assign him to the D-League, the highest-ever draft pick demoted at the time. Thabeet never adapts to NBA tempo or spacing, and over 5 seasons with 4 different teams, he averages just 2.2 points and 2.7 rebounds in 224 career games. His career high in scoring, 10 points, occurs only twice, though he remains a minor presence on practice squads and overseas rosters for a few years. He never returns to the NBA after 2014. Draft analysts later call him a vertical illusion, big, but not built for pro ball. Derek Williams. In 2011, Minnesota uses the 2nd overall pick on 6'8" forward Derek Williams, who averages 19.5 points and 8.3 rebounds while shooting 56.8% from the field in his sophomore year at Arizona. On paper, he offers the athleticism and inside-out scoring that modern stretch fours require, but Williams never finds a stable role. He lacks the ball handling to play the wing and the size to defend true bigs. Over 6 seasons and 6 different teams, he fails to average more than 12.0 points in any season. Williams' best year comes in 2012-13, when he averages 12.0 points on 43% shooting for a 31-win Timberwolves team. After that, his minutes and usage steadily decline, and by 2017, he signs overseas with Bayern Munich. Ironically, he becomes a highlight machine in Europe, earning all Eurocup first-team honors and revitalizing his career far from the NBA spotlight. But in the league that drafted him, he becomes a footnote in a long string of Noeb Batu pick disappointments. Jan Vesely. The Washington Wizards draft 6'11". Czech forward Jan Vesely 6th overall in 2011, envisioning him as an athletic slasher and rim runner in transition. But Vesely struggles immediately with shooting touch, confidence, and physicality. In his rookie season, he shoots 31.4% from the free throw line, a mark that remains one of the lowest in league history for any non-center. Over 3 seasons, he averages just 3.6 points and 3.5 rebounds in under 16 minutes per game. Known mockingly as Airwolf for his above-the-rim potential, Vesely fails to earn consistent minutes in Washington or Denver and is out of the league by age 24. He later finds success in Europe, winning EuroLeague MVP honors with Fenerbahce in 2019. But in NBA history, his name joins the list of athletic projections that never materialize. His case reinforces how poor shooting can erase every other tool in a player's kit. Nicolas Tskitishvili. In 2002, the Denver Nuggets select 7-foot Georgian forward Nicolas Tskitishvili with the 5th overall pick, largely based on his performance in European Summer League exhibitions. With a high release and range out to the arc, he draws early comparisons to Dirk Nowitzki. But Tskitishvili enters the NBA with little professional experience. He averages just 3.9 points per game in Italy before the draft, and the learning curve proves brutal. In his rookie season, he shoots 29.3% from the field and averages 3.9 points across 81 games. Over 4 NBA seasons, Tskitishvili's numbers plummet. He ends his career with averages of 2.9 points and 1.8 rebounds, failing to stick with 5 different teams. In one infamous 2004 game, he plays 23 minutes and scores 0 points. Years later, one NBA general manager bluntly states, "He duped us all." His name becomes shorthand for international draft busts built on hype, not tape. And yet, what follows isn't hype at all. It's pressure, expectation, and the weight of being first overall in a hostile spotlight. Kwame Brown. In 2001, the Washington Wizards make history by selecting Kwame Brown with the first overall pick, making him the first high school player ever drafted number 1 at 6'11", 240 pounds. Brown dominates in Georgia prep basketball, averaging 20.1 points and 13.3 rebounds his senior year. But once in the NBA, his development stalls. He posts just 4.5 points per game in his rookie season and struggles to adjust to professional physicality. Teammates, coaches, and media question his work ethic and maturity. Over 12 seasons and 7 teams, Brown averages 6.6 points and 5.5 rebounds, recording only one double-digit scoring season. He is publicly criticized by both Michael Jordan, then Wizards president, and later Kobe Bryant, whose Lakers team trades for Brown in 2005. While he carves out a long career as a defensive reserve, his name becomes synonymous with unmet potential. He plays 607 NBA games, more than many peers, but never sheds the bust label. Unlike Kwame, Marcus Vinicius. In 2006, the New Orleans Hornets select 6'9" Brazilian forward Marcus Vinicius with the 43rd overall pick, hoping to tap into the same international upside that produced stars like Manu Ginobili. Vinicius spends most of his rookie contract on the inactive list or in the D-League, appearing in just 26 NBA games over 2 seasons. His career averages, 2.0 points and 0.7 rebounds, never matched the early buzz generated during summer league play. Despite strong showings in preseason, Vinicius fails to secure a rotation spot and eventually returns to Brazil, where he plays over a decade in domestic leagues. While not a high-profile flameout, his case highlights the volatility of mid-second-round gambles on international youth. He builds a solid overseas resume, but barely registers on NBA timelines. The final story, though, isn't about failure. It's about mistaken identity and a legend that never was. Keith McCants, honorable mention. In 1990, a persistent urban legend circulates that Keith McCants, an Alabama football linebacker, was drafted by an NBA team due to confusion with a similarly named prospect. In truth, McCants never plays college basketball and is selected 4th overall in the NFL draft by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. However, due to a clerical error in a televised NBA draft rerun, his name mistakenly appears in a lower third graphic listing. The myth spreads among fans in pre-internet forums and resurfaces in highlight bloopers for decades. Despite having no connection to basketball beyond high school pickup games, McCants becomes a trivia punchline. He later acknowledges the mistake in interviews, calling it the weirdest rumor I've ever heard. His story endures as a cautionary tale of how misinformation clings to myth. But the real caution comes from decades of actual picks, where bad process, unchecked hype, and structural failures leave lasting scars.